Hello, hello, everyone. Hi, Maya. Welcome in. How are you today? Thank you so much for hanging out over on YouTube. I appreciate it. Let me get my avatar up really quick. What is happening to me right now? I am A-okay. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Cool. There we go. Much better. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. Let's see. Portfolio. We're working on Kara this week. Coolio. I don't like this pose from forever ago, or it's really the face. Sometimes walking away from stuff for a week and then coming back, when you look at it again, it's like, oh, this is actually kind of trash. But that's okay. Let's fix it. Or let's see if we can, rather. Oh, is this more Doddy? Ooh! I love Doddy Frere. If you want to listen to music, you can always pop over to my Twitch stream. I can't play any music over on YouTube because of the copyright stuff that they have going on. But if you want to listen to music on stream, you can always pop over there. Okay, let's fix this. There's a lot going on here. Too big. Oops. Alright, I'm not warmed up at all, so there is a chance that this is going to just be garbage. It's definitely part of it, and then these are part of it too. Let's start over here. Okay, because that's fine. It was really the eyes. Let me flip this way. We're going to see what we got. I think I'm a little bit too low. Sometimes all it takes is just a little bit of rehashing. What is the story about? So these are characters from my Brady Von Altus books. Let me go ahead and pull open a my website for you. You can find my website in the description below the video over on Twitch. Or not on Twitch, pardon me, on YouTube. But my Brady Von Altus books are about a 10-year-old. His name's Brady. And he has a very ordinary life, but a very extraordinary family. So his dad, for example, has like a... Let me open this image so you can check it out. This is all of the characters here. So this is Brady, and then like his mom is like a totally normal person, but his dad has a fireball for a head, and his uncle is dead, and his aunt is a witch, and he's got a cousin that has a block for a head, and he's just trying to like live his life and just vibe and do what he needs to do. And his life is constantly crazy because his family is very unique. So each book deals with a lot of magic, a lot of fun, but then also him just trying to live his like normal 10-year-old life, which does not go very well. But yeah, they're available on Amazon, and you can also buy box sets from me as well if you want to just buy all 5 of them. But they're all award-winning books. I'm super proud of them, and I love them to death. But all of the info for each of the books is on my website if you want to go and check them out and go and watch the book trailers or read any reviews or things like that. So I love it to death. It's one of my favorite things that I've ever made. But today we're working on, this is Brady's best friend. Her name is Kara. She's a gymnast, and she is really super smart, and her favorite cartoon ever is the Powerpuff Girls. She loves the Powerpuff Girls. And she is very cool. She and Brady have been through it, like, truly. So, we did, let me open up Brady's concept art. We did his model packet. So this is Brady. He's so cute. I love him so much. And he's just a little sunshine guy. He's very odd, but he's a good kid. Yeah, I love him so much. But the goal of this entire project is to expand my portfolio so that way I can have a new part of my portfolio that deals with kids animation, because my portfolio only has adult like fantasy stuff in it, so I need to expand my portfolio to include more storyboarding and more kids animated focused stuff. So that's kind of the goal with this whole thing here. But yeah, if you like A Series of Unfortunate Events, or if you like Percy Jackson, or if you like fairy tales and folklore, just in general, you'll love this stuff. I need to really quick I need to figure out another, let me open up the Brady poses actually, because I need to figure out what I'm doing for the rest of her poses. Hi, Badrick. Also, thanks for the lurk over on Twitch. I appreciate it. I'm out right now, so I can't stay, but I thought I'd say hi, and hopefully you're still live when I get home. Yeah, I'll be live for about 2 hours-ish or more. So hopefully I'll see you later. What happened to her arm? Oh, she was just born like that. Yeah, sometimes when kids are born, you just don't have a whole arm. That was just her vibe. Let's see. So let me open this. Yeah, she's a really, really good gymnast, despite she wants to be in like the Paralympics. Bye, Patrick. See you later. Okay, so I have like a crawling one, so let's do like a sitting one. Let me see what I got here. Oh, this is cute. Okay, so let me see. So what I'm doing over off screen effectively is I have a program that I've used to make 3D models of all of my characters. So that way I don't have to like go and look for a billion reference images for my characters. I can just go and I can use these characters over and over and over without having to find references for their exact proportions or find people that look like them, things like that, which is really convenient. So I do have to take this off screen for just a second because Twitch and YouTube do not like my hyper-realistic 3D models, they are freaked out by them. Which ain't great, but it is what it is. So the program that I use is, the intent is to create hyper realistic 3D model renders of like fashion and things like that, which is really fun, but also that makes it really difficult for me because they are relatively realistic, and Twitch will lose its mind. Jeff Bezos got mad at me over a butt one time, so I gotta be careful. Okay, so let me reduce this opacity like really hardcore here. Okay, so let me move this down. This one is pose 2, and then we're going to get started on pose 3. The trick here is replicating everything that I've already drawn. So this makes it a little bit faster for me to focus on the actual pose. And actually, before I do this, there may be some stuff with the gesture that I don't like, because I'd really prefer if this pose had more of a tilt to it like this. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna have her head like this, and then we're going to, this is fine, but what I'm gonna do is make her chest like this. Whoops. Yeah, Kara's great. She's got a bunch of older siblings, but they, let me lean this way. They are a lot older than her, because she was kind of like the last kid to get born. And then a lot of her older sisters are like already in, she's in like 5th grade, so they're already in like high school. Here we go. This is so much more dynamic here. And then let me make a new layer here, and then I'm going to move this arm over. Oh, and actually, this arm, I have to figure out where I want to place this arm too, because it doesn't make any sense for her to cross her hand. So I might have the arm cross just straight like this instead, which looks better. And then I'm going to be posting a couple of videos this week talking about my Brady books, actually, this week. So then I'll need some kind of chair for her to sit in, too. Yeah, this will look a lot better. I prefer this. Okay, great. So now we can get rid of this. Yeah, much better. Yeah, that's much better. Hi, Gabby. How you doing? Hope you're having a great day. Welcome in. God, she's so cute. I love these characters so much. I don't really get to draw children that often, or I don't draw children, I should say. So being able to draw kids has been kind of a refreshing new thing. Yeah, Kara's definitely like Brady's rock in this series. She's like very, I don't know, she stands up for him a lot because he gets bullied a lot. And she's a really good kid. She's just super nice. Oh, is this some... Oh, she didn't. Oh, no, they didn't. Oh, this EDM artist is amazing. Oh, man, these instruments are about to get crazy over here on Twitch. Sorry, I'm like having a moment. Crazy. I'm doing pretty good, Gamby. I'm doing good. I have an event tonight that I'm really excited about. I'm going to be speaking at a public library about how to get started in self-publishing, which is going to be very fun. I don't expect a lot of people to show up, but what is exciting is that, like, I got a message from the librarian today that I've been working with, and she was saying that they were going to make a display of my books, my King of Dust books, to show people like what I do and be like, hey, this is like a library staff pick, like if you want to support this local author or whatever. But like when they put the books into the system, they got checked out so fast that like nobody can check them, or like they can't use them for the display. So it's like good news and bad news. So I have to bring my own books, which is not really that big of a deal, but like it's really cool. This is my first time having my books in a public library, so I'm really excited about it. Oh my god, she's so cute. Oh my god, she's so cute. Oh wait, actually I realized that there's like a huge issue with... I didn't end up reconnecting her headband over here. That was awkward. It would have been silly. Oh my god, she's so cute. I'm literally losing my mind. It's a little bit too long. No, but I guess she does have her head tilted, actually, so I gotta be careful with that. Yeah, so I'm stoked. If you live in the Colorado area and want to come and say hello, I will be teaching people all sorts of cool stuff. Let me know. I don't remember how many people in here are in that position. Okay, so let's see. So it should be fun. I am going to be selling some of my books, I think, but it's not going to be like anything that's like that crazy of an experience here. To be honest. You know what? I think that's something that I'm realizing that I am having issues with. Hold on. Yeah, that's the problem. Right. There, that's better. That was a problem as well. I respect you. Weird drawing that I did last week, but you weren't quite there yet. That's why taking breaks when you're working on art is really important, because if you don't, then you make a mistake and then you look at it too long and then your stuff is ugly. So don't do that. Force yourself to take breaks. Oh, I was like, this is John. There we go. John's music is so incredible. Wow. Man, this is beautiful. Man.
Hi. How many eggies would you like?
Just one, please. Thank you. Jace is the best. I'm so lucky. Okay, because the question is, I'm going to put her on a mushroom. It doesn't make sense for the particular scene that she's going to be in for this particular animatic that I'm working on, but it does make sense for the entire story, so a mushroom it is. Yeah, that was insane range. Oh, this is crazy. Yes. Okay. Ah, she's so cute. Love that these guys have completely adapted to having two singers. It's just cool. Ah, she's so cute! I'm literally losing my mind. Okay, so now let me move... Oh wait, I need to make the mushroom. See, I gotta make sure my perspective is good. There we go. We got some drum and bass. Okay, there we go. That's so cute. Holy shit. All right. I'm really excited because I'm going to be releasing a Brady Von Altus special edition in like 2030, so I still got a couple years to work on it, obviously, but there's going to be so many illustrations in it because of the overall amount of work that I'm putting into this, so I'm very excited. Oh, thank you! Oh, Jace is the best. Oh, I have so much Scrapple. Thank you! Let's see if my food tracker software knows what Scrapple is. Cooked ground beef. It is not cooked ground beef. It is Scrapple. That's a good try, though. Okay, is this brunch technically? Yes, but that's okay. Oh my god, Scrapple. Oh my god. Have any of y'all ever had Scrapple? Because it's good. Oh, wow. Good breakfast. Holy shit. Okay. So now, we're gonna do another one. Like a running one. Oh, that's just the arm. What? Oh, I went too far. That's what happened. Right. Okay, hold on. I gotta edit this pose a little bit because... There we go. I just really needed some more angle to this because it was not good. But now we're doing okay. Oh, also, I wanted to say thanks so much to everybody who recently subscribed over on YouTube, by the way. I don't have a list of everybody that jumped on the last couple of days, but I got a good amount of people on there, so thank you so much. The ones that I can see over on my stream notifications are SKS, Eccentric Raven, Lulu, Martin, and Lulu Carson. So thanks to everybody. I definitely massively appreciate all of you. There's some gesture stuff that needs to be fixed here too. Let me fix it. Because this is fine. And actually, I'm looking at this model, and the reason, one thing that I don't like, so we're going to bring this foot up like this, and we're going to have the leg go like this instead. Actually, hold on, I need to make sure I'm in the right place here. That way I can connect this in the correct way. There we go, better. Heyo, how you doing? Milkshake Deluxe. I like your username. That's good. That's a good one. I hope you're having a great day. working on some concept art and fixing the gesture on this 3D model because it ain't great. Let me look at what I got going on here. I still think this needs to be tilted more. There, that's better. I'm working on some concept art for my portfolio. I'm trying to get good in art still. That's good though. Practice is the only thing that'll make you better, for sure. Oh, I got my tablet in early August. That's exciting. That's so exciting. I hope you have a lot of fun. Oh, thanks, Jason. Oh, that smells so good. Thank you so much. My husband just brought me coffee. That's so nice. All right. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm a professional Viz Dev artist, and I am an art professor. I teach at an art college, which is really fun. And I'm trying to get jobs at video game studios, so it is what it is. It's very competitive. I'm doing some work on my portfolio to include more kids animation because kids animation is obviously really popular, and I mostly have done stuff for video games, so I'm trying to move to Vancouver, see if I can get some work there. Okay, I don't like any of this. I need to move that like that. There we go. Wowie. Let me see what we got going on. I don't know if I want to move this. Well, maybe more, actually. Yeah. Hey, that's awesome. My sister's boyfriend worked as a concept artist on Baldur's Gate 3. That's the dream. That's the dream. Yeah, I would literally sell my left kidney to be able to get into a good studio right now. It's yeah, wildly competitive. Hey, Viking Wolf, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Appreciate y'all. Let me see what this does here. Oh, I don't like that either, though. This is alright. Depends on which you consider good. I consider any studio good that doesn't abuse its employees. I'm not really in it for the pay. I'm mostly in it to make good art and to make games that impact people, if that makes sense. And so I'm looking, for me personally, I'm looking more in like Vancouver, especially more for indie studios rather than big AAA studios like Larian or like EA or things like that. Like, if I got a job at EA, that'd be fine, I guess, but, like, that's not really what I'm looking for. Man, hold on, this whole thing... I'm almost wondering if it's like, let me move this arm back, too. I'm messing with this pose pretty intensely here. The original 3D model was fine, but it doesn't have a lot of life to it. It needs more life. Why not make your own? Mostly because, so, one, it's a lot of time. Number one. Two, I don't have the skills as a visual development artist to make a game. All I can do is the pre-viz stuff, so that's going to be the concept art stuff, so that's, you know, looking more like stuff like this. Where I'm really good at creating, I can create the 2D like stuff like this, but I don't know how to code. So, could I learn? Definitely. Do I have a degree in game design? Yes. But I'm not necessarily an expert in that. So most likely I would have to find somebody else that would be willing to work with me on that. And that means that I would have to pay somebody, which I definitely do not have money to do. So, that's major hurdle number one. I have considered making visual novel games, so it'd be stuff like, not necessarily romance visual novels, but especially like along the lines of interesting games like Date Everything, where they have like unique mechanics like that. I'm more interested in creating interactive, like, storytelling experiences, which are fun, but not necessarily like full-blown games like RPGs or puzzle games or things like that. So if I could get onto a team of people that prefer to make that kind of stuff, that would be great. I just recognize it's not really in my wheelhouse, nor is it something that I like to do. Hey, Shadow, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Yeah, so it can be fun, but me and coding aren't friends. I'm definitely a much faster artist. But also, too, I'm a full-time author as well, so, like, that's where that time constraint kind of comes in as well. Where I'm spending a lot of my time writing novels, publishing novels, helping other people publish novels, those kinds of things as well. And, eventually I will make a game. It just depends on when I have time for it. What are your novels about? Ooh, I got a lot of them. Let me open up my website. If you want to check out my stuff as well, since you're over on Twitch, we have the power. We have the power to do that. You can check out my website. I just dropped it into the Twitch chat. But I write mostly fantasy, and I have a lot of different stuff. The concept art stuff that I'm making right now over here is based off of my Brady Von Altus series. It's a middle grade paranormal, so it's very like series of unfortunate events, or like Percy Jackson. But they're all award-winning novels, and they're about folklore and magic and healing your family and trying to live through like childhood trauma. They're really fun, but they're very uplifting books. Otherwise, I've got a political dystopian series right now that's out. The first one, well, both of these are free on Wattpad right now. I've entered them into some contests, so we're hoping to win some awards on these ones as well. But these are like political dystopian, and they have tarot card magic in them, which are really fun. They're young adult. And then this one is my most recent one, and is my definitely like my best selling. It's a Dungeons and Dragons inspired vampire fantasy. This one is an adult novel. So not necessarily super explicit, but definitely not intended for kids. This is my favorite thing, I think, that I've published recently. And then I also have a middle grade portal fantasy about a kid who discovers that his parents were a part of an interdimensional war across mirrors, and has to go and not have that problem. That's a big thing. But I do write a lot of fantasy, mostly for all ages. Oh yeah, and then I can't forget about Mirror Gaze either. This is like an adult rewrite of Frozen, retelling of Frozen, I guess. I did not like Frozen, and I was like, what if I fixed it? So, so that's pretty much that. So I have a lot of different books, mostly fantasy. I'm currently trying to get an agent to pick up science fiction and adult science fiction that I have, but so far nobody's been biting, so that's been irritating. But that's okay. Eventually. It'll happen sometime. But I like to write a lot about magic and about ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Let's see, wait, how did I do Kara's nose? This is why we make a turnaround. Oh, she's got a swoopy nose. She doesn't have a straight nose. Oh, like world building and stuff. Yeah, a lot of my books have some pretty intense world building. I would say like One Pale Reflection definitely has the most world building in it, because it takes place, most of the book takes place in a fictional portal dimension called Eostronen. So it's been really fun. It was fun developing all of the religions, magic systems, all of that kind of stuff, geography, cultures, things like that in it. So that's been great. And then King of Dust also has a pretty intense like set of world building. just because it takes place on an entirely different, it's like a fantasy world, so there's no connection to real life at all. But it's a good time. Definitely my most world building is Fatal Mechanisms, which is in query right now. I had to do so much research on like hard science and what functions, what doesn't. Realistic planets, alien species. It was definitely very challenging in that way. Sorry, I'm also trying to cram down my breakfast. I'm very inspired by a lot of folklore and fairy tales. Oh, actually, I am a big old dummy. Well, actually, hold on. Let me rotate this like this. There we go. Better, better, better. Oh, and also, too, I have a webcomic that's inspired by Chinese mythology also on my website. That's like 100% free to read. It's on Webtoons and on Tapas if you like Sun Wukong, Chinese myth, that kind of stuff. But I always try and include a lot of world building in everything that I do. I don't like books that are that have a lot of plot holes because they don't have good world building in them. Not a fan. Well, this is not quite right. This angle of face always throws me. I've drawn about 1 million faces and it doesn't matter because no matter what, there will always be a weird face. Guaranteed. Yeah, if you're looking for something new to read ever, I have lots of free stuff, and I'm always looking for people to leave reviews on my work, so that would be amazing and helpful. I always try to give people nice thank yous too, so if you're ever, like, if you ever review any of my stuff, let me know, because I always give people commissions, like free like line art commissions and stuff for leaving reviews, and you don't even have to leave like a 5-star review, just like any review, even if it's a bad review, I'll still honor it. There we go. Let's hope you never pop off your drawing until I die. Yeah, no, truly though. Yeah, I like, typically with my books, once my books hit probably like 25 reviews, I'll stop doing that, if that makes sense. But for an indie author, having those like 25 reviews is really, really important. Most of my books are sitting around like 10 right now. And that is the most difficult part of being like an independent author, is trying to find people to leave it, like read it and leave reviews. Because, like, for example, 64 people have read One Pale Reflection, but only like 10 of them have left reviews, you know? So even though so many people have read it, like, getting people to actually leave reviews is the hard part. But I do like to try and at least be friendly about it, because, like, I hate asking people to do stuff and, like, not, I don't know, not say thank you, I guess. Because as an indie author, I really do appreciate it. Like, it means a lot. Oh, I like the angle that creates on her head. Oh, yeah, those are really difficult to get into. I would love to, like Rainbow Crate or things like that. I would love to, but typically you have to have significantly more traction on your books in order to get there. You know, so we're talking like hundreds of sales. And while I do make good sales every year, I'm definitely not like that level of popular. I have had a friend who has been in one of those, so I'd have to ask him. I think that they reached out to him, though, because his book legit popped off. It was, like, crazy. I'd have to see what he did. Or do some research. But it's definitely a slow build. It will get there eventually. It's like pushing a snowball down a hill, if that makes sense. You just have to kind of wait. But that's also why I'm trying to get into traditional publishing as well, because sometimes, depending on the publisher that you get with, you can have more of a beneficial marketing team is the way that I'm going to put that, like phrase that, which is super helpful. And then at that point, the marketing team will help you. Well, I do not like. The marketing team will help you move your stuff and get it in front of the right people, so that way you're not like effectively just unknown, you know, lost in the sea of a million other authors, which can happen. I'm like, I love the internet, but yeah, you definitely get buried. Let me see here. How do I want to do this? I'm going to have this go like this. This is going to go like this. Yeah. Like this. Yeah, definitely being an indie author is a test of patience. You have to just be willing to kind of stick with it and just do like little pokes here, little pokes there until something picks up. And eventually it will. Because you never know when you're going to pop off. Like my friend Ian, whose book all of a sudden, yeah, wow, it popped off. It was crazy. Oh, it's 12:30. That means it's time to get a snack. If you haven't gotten a snack, any of those things, you should definitely do that. Hold on, let me eat this egg yolk and then avoid all the egg whites because I'm just that way. If I were you, I'd probably sneak myself into those book crate discords. Yeah, you kind of have to just... No, you're right, though. It's like all schmoozing. It's like all networking and stuff. No, totally. It's all based on who you know. Because that's exactly what happens to my friend Ian. Is that he ended up having an author review his book who happens to be a very popular author in a specific genre. And he, then, because he got that review, all of a sudden everything just, like, exploded. So, as soon as the right person notices, you're pretty much good to go. Oh, wow, wild. Coheed and Cambria making reggae. I would have never guessed. Yeah, the tricky bit is that a lot of the stuff that I have is mostly for kids. And so that's where I've kind of shot myself in the foot in that way. Is that I have to wait until I have a backlist of more adult titles. Or more young adult titles, because not a lot of people want to read kids lit. Which is totally valid. It's just what I prefer to write because, I don't know, it's fun, I guess. But that's kind of what happened with King of Dust as my first adult novel. All of a sudden, like, that thing, God, that thing did super well on Kickstarter twice. Because I just released an audiobook for it as well, which was really, really cool. It's the first time I've ever been able to do an audiobook. Because nobody really cared, you know? And so, that's been really, really cool. So, really, all that it's taught me is something that I, thankfully, kind of already knew. Which is that kids' books have a very specific niche. And unless you can sell to parents, you're going to have a really hard time. So, as I release more adult novels, which I have one, I'm currently working on a manuscript for a fairy tale retelling that is, like, really intense. It's, like, soft science fiction body horror, you know, so it's totally different than literally anything else that I have on the market right now. That kind of stuff. Once I do that, then I'll be in a good place.
You done? You gotta eat all your calories.
No, I'm okay. I saved a piece of bread for me for later. I'll finish it. So, once I start doing that, I'll be good. I'll be good. But that's the trick. Is waiting. I definitely tried the Discord strat before, though. And I can only say the major problem that I have with it is a lot of people write romance. And so what happened to me the last time, I was in one of those Discords that was for, like, monster fiction specifically. I was like, oh yeah, I have a vampire book. Let me go into a monster fiction Discord. And all of them effectively left me, like, super negative reviews because there wasn't enough sex in my book. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Because they were looking for effectively Twilight, and that's not what I wrote. So, that can also happen too. Yep, that's also true. It was a weird place to be. I noped right out of that Discord group pretty fast, though. Not quite. No. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually move this out this way. Flip. This is too high. There we go, better. I don't... This arm. Let me move this. Let's see. Yep. Well, and if you think about the demographic too, most readers are women, or like feminine presenting people, female identifying persons of that persuasion. So that being said, romance is the #1 selling genre out there, period. It's just like, and it always has been. So if you don't like, what was a shame was that I very clearly stated that it was not romance. But they did not care. There we go. That's better. That's better. And then I'm going to actually take this. We're going to make this more. There we go. Better anatomy. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let me see here. We're about to hear so many Huntrix copycats now because of the success of K-pop Demon Hunters, and I'm not excited about it. Yeah, this is just bad. This is just bad. Half of this stuff Spotify's going rogue now, so I don't know what half of this is. We're in uncharted territory here. I'm actually gonna do a sleeping one, I think, for Kara. Or do I have... maybe a hiding one actually would be more relevant to this storyboard, actually. Well... for variety, never mind, we're doing sleeping. Maybe not. Let me see what I want to do here. Wasn't a fan. Oh yeah, no, they did not. I don't know what they were expecting, because I have like some LGBT... Well, okay, so first what happened in that particular group? What happened first was that I had LGBT content in my book, which was not a problem, but they were looking for gay smut specifically. And I have a bisexual main character who ends up with a woman. They were very upset. So they were super, super vocal about that. And some even refused to read my stuff because it had a hetero presenting relationship at the end of the book, which was really unfortunate. So they were super biphobic about the entire thing. That was not great. And then, because it wasn't just smut the entire time, they were very not super cool about it. Oh, I meant K-pop Demon Hunters. Oh no, I love the K-pop Demon Hunters music, but the problem is, and this is coming from somebody who was like a classically trained musician, and I've been playing the piano, for example, my whole life. EJ as a songwriter is phenomenal. She's amazingly talented. The music is really, really, really good for K-pop Demon Hunters, right? But not everybody is that talented, so we're about to be hit with a flood of mediocre Huntrix-like music that's all going to be really, really bad, and that's mostly what I'm scared of. So I'll listen to the K-pop Demon Hunter soundtrack all day, every day. I love that shit. I don't even really like K-pop that much, truly, but I'm not a huge fan of pop music as a whole. Let me see. I'm going to do this one. And then this I don't have to censor. So let me turn these off really fast so that I can reposition these things. Yeah. No, I love the music in that film. I thought it was really quite good. But I tend to really only listen to like indie artists because I don't like the I'm going to use the term homogenization of music, where it's a lot of it starts to sound really very similar to each other because of the nature of the industry and labels. It's kind of a similar problem that we run into with books, truly, is that you end up with a lot of books that sound the same, and like that's been a lot of the rejections that I've been getting as a an author for my science fiction, is that effectively they're looking for what is called like upmarket fiction, things that sell specifically to certain audiences, and my stuff just doesn't sound like that. My voice is different, or maybe the message of the thing is different than what they expect. You know, they want really specific I don't know, themes, tone. You know, you run into an issue where it's like, oh, okay, well, everybody needs to sound like Sarah J. Maas, and it's like, well, what if I'm not Sarah J. Maas? What if I don't want to write Fairy Twilight? Like, what if that's not what I do? So it ends up being a very weird place to be. But music tends to be, it can fall into the same issue when you have like a bunch of labels that are, you know, controlling the same industry. It's why Katy Perry and like Kesha sounded the same. You know, it's like it's the same issue. Yeah, I actually need to watch K-pop Demon Hunters again. From like a storyboard and color script standpoint, that thing was insane. Beautiful, beautiful movie. It had the same kind of, like, fun, like, I guess, like, uniqueness to it that Spider-Verse did. But that doesn't surprise me because Sony's really been, like, gosh, they've been doing the most for animation which is great. I was actually thinking about starting a series over on YouTube. I had a couple of people say that they would want to see this kind of content, so now I have to try and figure out what I'm doing with this kind of content. But they want to see me effectively pick poorly written Disney movies and then fix all the plot holes. Very similar to what I did with Mirror Gaze, where I took the same or a similar premise. It's not necessarily a one-for-one for Frozen, but fixed all the things that I heard most people complain about or like were irritated by, whether it was like lack of representation or whether it was like nobody liked Hans as a twist villain or like things like that. Like, what do we do? You know, so it's kind of interesting. So now I have to figure out how I want to format that, whether I want to do like YouTube shorts or if I want to do like actual writing challenges where I'm like, okay, you know, like let's vote on a movie that is particularly bad. And then, you know, I have to effectively come up with a plot to fix it in X number of days. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. So that should be kind of fun. I'm not really sure how that's going to go. Kara's like, oh, my body! As she just... I like this pose because it's like I just got chucked on the ground and now I hurt. Everything hurts. Poor Kara. She's fine. This particular sequence that I'm doing is going to be fun. I would rewrite most modern Disney stuff, bring them back closer to what they used to be. Yeah, and for me, a lot of it is just like... Because the ones that I started with Frozen because I had the biggest gripes with it. Because of just how all over the place the plot was. There was no world building. There was no continuity. There was no... Like, I just didn't give a shit about the characters. Like, and there were a lot of powerful moments in it, but, like, certain characters, like Olaf, for example, annoying as fuck. He's just so annoying. You know, so it's like, it's just a huge shame that that's the way that went. And, certain ones are worse than others. Like, Tangled I'd leave alone. There's, like, some of them where I would be like, okay, I could leave this alone and it's not really the worst, but I do find myself often looking at animation and then having issues with it where like I'll be watching it and it's like, man, they literally could have changed this one thing here and the plot would have been fixed. So I have things like that floating around in my brain all the time. I'm not even going to touch the live action ones because they're so bad. That's like a whole other thing. A whole other monstrosity. Let's see, let me see. So now, I have to really think about how she balances herself with this arm because she has only about half of the arm that everybody else does. So let's move this down. Let me rotate this. I'm actually going to take this, put it on a new layer, and then we're going to go this way. Let's play around. I'm going to do like this, but I'm going to have her elbow this way. Yeah, I'd rather see them get rid of the diversity checklist and focus on a narrative first, then make new IPs that give the company diversity rather than cram it into one movie. Yes. Literally 4,000% yes. Yeah, I absolutely agree. My goal is to become, eventually, a certified sensitivity editor, which, in other words, like, that's the person who reads through stuff to double check to see whether or not like you're unintentionally like offending a specific group of people by writing something, or say you're like an author who is writing a story about you know, like somebody who's disabled, for example, but you yourself are not disabled. Having a sensitivity editor is really important to make sure you're not doing anything weird. And like that seems to be Disney's biggest issue, is that they are also not doing that either, where they're like just blindly kind of picking demographics and not really thinking about weird faux pas that they're making for themselves. Like in the new Little Mermaid, you know, you have a black Little Mermaid, which is great. Like Ariel can be whatever ethnicity she wants. It doesn't fucking matter. They set it in the fucking West Indies, which is where like slavery was happening. So I'm like, oh cool, so you have like a black Ariel and no mention of slavery? Like it's just weird. It's like, why would you make that decision? Like, are you not thinking, you know? And it's like, I don't think that they are. They're just kind of, like you're saying, like they covering their eyes and then pointing a gun at a set of diversity characters and then pulling the trigger, and if it hits something then they put it in the movie, you know. It's like this is not really right. It doesn't make any sense. You a connoisseur in slurs. That's part of it, but most of it, to be honest, is like making sure people don't do really, really, really dumb shit. Like a famous example I talk about on stream a lot is an instance in which there were two Chinese authors who were releasing a fantasy book, and they had a black character in it who was a servant character, which is not necessarily the problem. The main issue is that the main character was best friends with that black character, which again, not a problem. But the major issue was that the little girl was effectively like, I love being your indentured servant. Being your servant is my favorite thing in the whole world. And when they released the novel for international translations, they gave it to sensitivity editors here in the States, one of whom had been a black woman, and she was like, I'm sorry, you're telling me the black slave is happy to be a slave? You know, like, it's like stuff like that. And that's really what, like, sensitivity editors do, is making sure that people who are effectively culturally unaware of what they're doing, or like if you have a gay character, for example, and their whole personality trait is rah gay rights, and they don't actually have anything else besides being like the token gay character or the token black character or the token Asian character, the token smart character, the token autistic character, like whatever it is, and avoiding those things, because unfortunately a lot of people are really bad at reading a room, and they don't understand that they're being offensive when they are being offensive effectively. How would they? Make her work the underwater kelp farm? I mean, they could try. They could try. As soon as her two-legged ass steps foot on shore, they're like, we found one. Just like, no, it's terrible, right? It's literally like, the more you talk about it, the more ridiculous it gets. It's like, this makes zero sense. And like, probably Eric in his wealth in that version of that story is working for a plantation. Like, it just makes the logic it just doesn't fly. It's like, why are we here? Like, Disney, how do we get here? This is so messed up. Like, figure out something else. Because I agree, like, if they had just released a live-action Little Mermaid that was almost a one-for-one for the original, and then made a new mermaid movie starring a new, different black mermaid, it would have been awesome. That would have been totally fine. And then also, too, a lot of, like, the I guess, sentiment inside minority communities as a whole is, like, why is it that we have to be shoehorned into the stories of other people? Why don't we get our own stories? And instead, you're forcing us to be over in somebody else's story. It's like, well, I'm not the new black Disney Princess Mermaid. I am black Ariel. And it's like, well, that sucks. You know, like, it sucks to get shoved into that kind of a position. It's like, it's just not fair. Not fair for anybody. Right after slavery got abolished in the U.S., a large part of the freed slaves lamented the sudden freedom. Estimates are like 60%. Yeah, because they were like homeless. Yeah, it was awful. Yeah, corpo slavery. Well, and that's why too. Yeah, no, it's messed up. The whole system effectively screwed people in more ways than one. No, totally. Well, and that's where you get people with effectively Stockholm syndrome, or people who effectively turned around and then became like sharecroppers for the slave owners that they left, right? Which is in itself also equally fucked up. or they got wrapped up in the prison system, which was just legal slavery under the 14th Amendment. So it's like, yeah, it's a very complicated and weird issue, which is where people like the guy who like freed the entire island of Haiti had it figured out, where he was like, no, we're not doing this anymore. Like, the Haitian Revolution was hardcore, but also probably very necessary. Yeah, so effectively it's a sensitivity editor's job to understand the history of, like, at least the demographics that you specialize in. Like, for example, I would not be, I'm like white and Hispanic. Like, I would not be a sensitivity editor for black books. I have a sensitivity editor for my own books because I have a black main character in my books, right? Like, I obviously, I'm not black myself. So I have a black editor, right? So that's what I chose as an author, to make sure that my stuff was not offensive, right? And so for me, I specialize in stuff like neurodivergent characters with mental health issues. I will tackle some Hispanic and indigenous characters, but I don't claim to be an expert on that either, because I'm white first. I have Hispanic ancestry, but I don't consider myself Mexican because I wasn't raised in that culture. And LGBT issues, that's my other specialty there. So, yeah, it becomes one of those things. You just got to keep your eye out for it. It's an interesting job, but yeah, I don't think Disney has a sensitivity editor. I'd be willing to bet about $1 badillion that they don't. They probably have somebody whose job is the opposite, is to make sure that it's not too diverse, so that way they can still make as much money as possible off of people who don't like the diversity. That's a whole issue itself as well. The best sensitivity checker would be the most racist man alive. Yeah, if he laughs, kill it with fire. Yeah, true. Yeah. Well, and it's tough because, like, things, like, obviously change over time, and certain things are always going to slip through the cracks. And not everything needs a sensitivity editor or reader. It really is just dependent on if you are looking for, if you're talking about or writing stuff that happens to have those kinds of issues in it. Like, for me, I didn't need a disability editor to come and deal with, I have 2 disabled characters in this series. I have Kara, because she has her physical disability, but she's not really impacted by it in any way. She's fine. That's just the way that she is. So I don't really talk about her having any struggles as a kid who is disabled, other than she's getting bullied for being disabled or looking different. But it's no different than Brady getting bullied for wearing a weird hat, so that's kind of the deal there. And then I have Brady's cousin, Dimitri. He is mute for most of the books because he was cursed. And so he uses like text to speech, and at some point he starts to learn sign. But him being disabled in that way is not necessarily something that's, like, again, a central focus of the books in that sense. So, like, you don't have to get a sensitivity editor for everything, but having it, like, if you're going to have a book that's, like, talking about something that you don't have experience in, getting an editor that does have experience in that thing is probably the smartest thing that you can do for yourself, just to save yourself the pain. Okay, so let's see. So now we've got that, and so now we need to do expressions. Yay! So I need to do, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how many we do. Whoops. I think we're actually going to get done with Kara's model packet today. That would be insane, actually. I still have about an hour. Yeah, I appreciate the authenticity of the setting over upsetting a reader, which is probably what annoys me the most about some short stories I've read. They cut things out for things that don't make sense. Immersion broken. Immersion's a big deal for me. Yeah, I agree. Well, and to some extent, too, I think that that's what we run into with Disney as a problem, is that they're unwilling to tackle or talk about hard topics, and then when they do, they screw them up. It's, like, really, really weird. And then that, again, comes down to, like, lack of sensitivity editing issue, where you don't have someone who is an expert in that topic to be able to talk about, like, yeah, like, let's talk about this weird hard shit that's going on, because if anything, that would make your story more authentic and more interesting, you know. Yeah, because I'm trying to think about, like I have two whole books. Like, my Court of Snakes series tackles some pretty major and heavy topics, including systemic oppression, racism, colorism, classism. And it's a dystopian. It's a what if all of these bad things happened in a very hyper isolated environment in the Nevada desert in the Mojave, and like nobody knew you were there. You know, how do you deal with that as a society? And like, as two teenagers growing up in those things, one of which has very intense white privilege and classism, or class privilege. He gets kicked out of his class, and then he has to like effectively live as a street rat for the rest of the series and understand what it is to be poor and to have that privilege taken away, versus the other character is mixed and she is dealing with the fact that her white dad does not like her. And so it's like, how does she cope with that while effectively being treated like trash by her own family? Drawing from my mom's experiences growing up as a mixed kid and dealing with colorism in her family, as well as, you know, other people that I've been able to talk to about that kind of stuff. And so those issues are like central to that novel. And if you take those away, then it's like, what the fuck is the point of the book? Like, what is the point? Like, why are we even reading it? You know, it's like, why? There has to be that, like, that deeper meaning. Like, I want to gain something from reading a book. And like, every age group is going to have different takeaways that you get, you know. So for like the Brady books, it's like, you know, much simpler messages, but like, they're still there. Oh, we get to draw Kara crying, apparently, which actually is kind of relevant for this entire short, because she, did I only do like 5 expressions for Astrid? Let me see, because she's technically a side character, so I might not do that many expressions for her. Let me see what I did over here for Astrid. Where is she? I think I did. Yeah, I only did 5 expressions over here. So that's what I'm going to do. Oh, and I might actually try and shove all of them onto one sheet like I did with Astrid's too. Ugh, because I have so many characters. It's like, well, it's really 4. It's not really that many, but like... Oh, cool. I'm gonna go use this website. Oh, bad gateway. No, so sad. Damn, this Reddit post is like 6 years old. Pity. My favorite movies or shows surrounding slavery are the gruesome and hard ones to watch because they make you realize the brutality. Yeah, exactly. And it's a tough topic to cover. Yeah, if it's a shallow character in the background because, yeah, he has any depth, it would upset somebody. Yeah, totally. No, for sure. And like, yeah, knowing your subject and knowing what you're getting into is really, really, really important. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to figure out what kind of angle I want to have on this face. Okay, this is the angle. Because I want to be able to draw these characters from pretty much any angle. And drawing faces from extreme angles is really difficult for me, so I'm really trying to challenge myself here. I gotta make sure I don't do classic male portions of the face here. So we'll leave this alone. There we go. Let me make sure that this anatomy is going to be okay. Flip. That's all I gotta say. Hey, Badrick, welcome back. I'm doing pretty good. We're almost done with Kara's model sheet, which is really cool. So, doing pretty good. So sad, she's crying a lot. Well, we made it through. We made it through release radar. Discover Weekly freaks me out, so we're going to listen to the Brady Von Altus playlist. Okay. I don't know if I like this face angle too much, but we're going to roll with it and see. I might actually open her eye. Oh, I got into the courses I wanted, but I also failed English. Okay, to be fair, English is rough. Okay, look, we don't talk about it. I am sorry that that happened, but also I'm glad that you got into the courses that you wanted. I think also y'all's exams are harder than ours in the US. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, our exams are kind of trash. Kids learn nothing. Ah, God. I actually hate this expression just overall. Holy moly. Hold on, wait a second. Oh, yeah, that'll do it. That's a mood. Yeah, I don't do well in those kinds of exams, to be honest. Like, at all. Hold on. Damn you. Curse you, Salazar. That's all I gotta say. There we go, better. I'm not super... Oh, well, okay, we're doing it. Hold on. Now let me fix this. This angle. Oh, yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, one time I had to take an exam in a Mormon church, and then they wouldn't let us have coffee, and it was super, super stressful, and I'm pretty sure everybody failed those exams. It was awful. That was, like, literally the worst. Why? Hold on. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? You know what we're gonna do? This is what we're gonna do. This is clearly a me problem. Oh my god, okay, that's funny, because I actually fucking hate him. Okay, I, like, killed it with fire. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, coffee during exams. Yeah, normally, like, yeah, I'll drink coffee before going to exams. Yeah, but we weren't allowed to have coffee during our exams because Mormons don't do coffee because I think it's an addictive substance. So we weren't allowed to have any coffee beforehand. It was kind of awful. And I didn't go to a religious school. This is like the place that we happened to be taking our exams in was run by Mormons. It was the whole time. Yeah, we could definitely have mugs of coffee and stuff when we took them the next year, which was nice. But they also were, like, on crack and tried to deny us, like, our formula packets and stuff for our math exams, which was awful. So bad. High school. My exams in high school were harder than my exams for college. I'm not even exaggerating. I filled up on Goan egg curry beforehand, and that's the only way I survived. I'm pretty sure my friend's Indian food literally is the only reason I passed those things. By 1 point, I'd like to add. One point. Okay, let me flip this. I just don't want this expression to look silly. Hold on. Yes, it is proven to be addictive. Totally. Yeah, so from a religious standpoint, I can 100% understand why they were doing it, but I think we had like one Mormon in the whole room. So he was fine. He did great. That was also the same year where we were trapped in a log cabin because that was where the exams were, and it was Miller Moth season, and then when they told us that we couldn't, like, use our math formula packets, one guy got up and very dramatically threw open the curtains because he literally was crashing out and could not figure out why they would do that to us, and about 1 million moths began to circle him like he was the Batman, and it was the most dramatic shit I've ever seen in my whole life. Oh yeah, that's just to prevent cheating. Yeah, nah, they didn't think we were gonna cheat, to be honest. Which was funny, because that was like the whole reason that the info packets thing shouldn't have been an issue. I don't even know. I am merely a man. There we go. This is better. This is like not even my final sketch or anything either. Okay, big ol' Blueby Studio Ghibli tears. She's like, why would you do this? She's got a softer chin than this. Hi, Rhyme. How you doing? Oh yeah, true. Yeah, definitely. And I know, like, for like some Jewish folks, it's like shrimp too, because they were kind of dirty. Shrimp are kind of nasty, to be fair. I definitely go rogue. I am a lover of many and all things. I will eat literally everything and anything. Nope, don't like that. Whoop, don't like that either. You ever just do stuff and then you're like, you actually just are making things worse slowly but surely. And actually, to be honest, hold on, I gotta look back at my turnarounds as well again. Yeah, because I have to remember that the hardest thing about this is that a lot of these proportion guides are made for, really what I'm seeing, I see the problem here. They're made for either, quote, aesthetically perfect male heads or like golden ratio female heads, which is not what I want because I have stylized stuff that I'm working with, or children, so that ends up being different proportions. So I have to go back and correct them so they don't look dumb. Okay, alright, so now, this is at least a start. Aw, that's cute. Dogs are fun. We still have our stanky old cat. Just kidding, Tatsu's a treasure. He's a national treasure. Oh, nice. I love it when that happens. No, that's definitely like our situation with Tatsu as well, where he like is theoretically like Siameses, Flame Point Siameses are so expensive, but like it doesn't matter because we found him effectively in the trash. Oh, what am I doing with this hair? See, this is a problem because guess who didn't do this turnaround? Oh, and it covers part of her eyebrow and part of her eye. So let me go back over here. We're going to turn this back on, turn this off. So we're going to go like this, like this, and like this. That's pretty good. That is cool. I've never heard of a legato. That's cool. That's neat. Dogs are great. Pets are fun. This is the I'm being traumatized by Uncle Rollo face and I don't know what to do. That's cool. I'm learning new things. The best you've ever had. Sip one more drink with me. Smile even though you're sad. Watching the sky fall. Listen your dust. It tinkles my neck. How do I live? Whee! Oh my god, my grandma's dog is named Vespa. You're like, why is this happening to me? Plot twist, Badrick is your grandma. She does. She kicks him right in the fucking chest, and
Oh,
he flies right back into the fucking closet. She's like, "Get that!" It's like the Mike Wazowski, "Get that thing away from me, or so help me, so help me, so help me." And
I
cut.
forgot.
Yeah, she kicks the shit out of him, and he's like, "What the fuck?" Like, yeah.
I think it's a reasonable response.
What's that?
I think it's a reasonable response.
Yeah, no, she's like, Falcon Punch. It's
Yeah.
like, nah, Kara, Kara goes into everything fist swinging, man. Get out of here, butt. We don't like you in here. Boop. Goodbye, bot. Okay, let's see. Nice, thank you. We got to ban. We got to get him off Twitch. We gotta murder him, nuke him with fire. That's cool. If it's a full blood, they get assigned a first letter based on the month they were born. So we had to start with an L, and the year name was De Amici Eterna, so we went through Lupa de Amici Eterna. Yeah, Wolf. Nice. As an eternal friend. That's so cool. Fancy. We should have named our cat Chicken Nugget, to be honest. Our cat was born bougie, but he has lost all sense of bouge and prefers the refried beans. Such is very well. Comes at a certain smell. Oh, come on now. All he craves is pizza beans and cheap Chinese. Yep, that's it. That's so crazy. Fancy dogs are fancy. Okay, so actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and be good. So let me actually take the poses, and I'm going to... Nope, not this. These ones. I'm going to shrink these down. And shrink the expressions down and just kind of layer them in here. And then I'm going to actually rename this poses and, excuse me. Poses and expressions, and that's how we're going to do this. All right, cool. Save. All right. Oh, this one's cute. We're doing number 8. Hello, Mr. Man. Can I help you?
Oh, is it time for food?
Oh, he's punching. It's the violence is being committed. Violence!
Come on.
Oh, gotcha. Oh man, half deaf. Yeah, that kind of is sort of what happened to my cat. He got a tooth infection and then he lost an eye from it. That was before we got him though. She is incredibly intelligent and dumb. I can't. Ah, they don't really lose hair. It gets stuck. I see. Oh, but they're hypoallergenic. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, no, that's good. Good to know. It's always good to watch out for stuff like that for like your breeds, so that way you don't have your dog or pet, any pet suffer unnecessarily from that kind of stuff. Just don't rub the dog against their faces. Wow. Damn. I love how dogs become super dumb as they age, in the sense that like they go from being like these kind of like stoic little people, and then all of a sudden they're like dumb babies. And it's like the best, actually. Bye, Badrick. See you later. It was good seeing you. I hope you have a great day. Mine isn't a dumb baby. That's good. Tatsu is incredibly smart. I think Siamese are considered, if I remember right, the smartest cat breed, which is really cool. And so he's super smart, but then he is also incredibly, like, I don't know, he's got a big personality. I can't. He became more energetic and playful since he's no longer in constant pain. That's so funny, though. It's good that he's got a lot of energy at 13. That's awesome. Is it a big dog breed, or is it a small breed? I need to take my jacket off. I got like suddenly super, super hot. Bengal, Abyssinian, and Maine Coon are the smartest and most trainable cat breeds, and yet Tatsu trains us. We have been abused. Oh, like a medium. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's cool. Because as far as I understand, like large dog breeds don't live very long, so that's always kind of a bummer. Yeah, because my sister has or like, I guess her mother-in-law, but it's kind of her dog now, has a poodle, and those guys don't really live that long. The miniature ones and the toy poodles do, but like the regular poodles, I didn't realize they like effectively just like instantly die. They do not really live that long. Oh, interesting. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, each dog is so unique, or each animal is really like their own thing. Some animals just like decide to live forever to spite God. Like, oop, don't like that. Sometimes I just gotta go back and look at what I did before. Your own artwork becomes your reference. There we go, better. Hi, Simon! Are you looking for online gigs? And I found a fiction writing job. Oh, yeah, hey, if you want to send it, that would be amazing. Feel free to drop the link into the chat, depending on what it is. That would be really cool. I hope you're having a great day. I met a dog on a walk once. It was a golden retriever, 18. Yeah, they do. The barrel is a good word to describe huge golden retrievers, though. Oh, man. Yeah, they move like little tanks. It's so true. Old golden retrievers are something else. Yeah, my biggest L recently for like writing was that I did like a writing assessment, and thankfully they were kind enough to pay us for it. But I did a writing assessment for a screenwriting company that was for Chinese vertical dramas, and I ended up not getting that job. Womp womp. So very nice encounter with my dog acting like a puppy. Oh, yeah, yeah. Don't bother the elderly, even though he too is elderly. I can't. You're like, you need to chill, man. Your level of energy right now toward this ancient old man is too much. That's funny, though. I actually don't like that hair. Hold on. There we go. I'm trying to clean up all my playlists and make sure all of the music that's in them fits the themes more. Making sure they all sound like my books. Oh my god, he hugs them. That's so funny. They're like, if you won't let me go forward, I will just hug. Don't tempt me. That's so silly. Okay. Now I need to clean these shoulders up because some of them, this is like too wide, for example. Oh, hey, thank you so much, Simon. Let me sign up for this website really quick because otherwise it won't let me look at it. Let me in. It is loading. Slowly but surely. Oh, I see. I see. Yeah. I probably won't do this job because effectively what they're asking is for somebody to write fiction so that AI becomes better at writing fiction because they want to create an AI bot that writes books, and ultimately that unfortunately goes against my policies as a writer, because I'm all for using AI to organize and to use it as like a research tool, but to use AI to just straight write fiction unfortunately results in a lot of like really weird stuff in terms of like copyright and things like that. So that in particular, I see those kinds of jobs all the time and I always just dodge them. And like, will there be AI or people writing with AI in the future and now even really that like we won't be able to escape? Yeah, for sure. But like, I don't know if I want my own writing to contribute to that stuff. But thank you for sharing that link with me. If you come across any other jobs, that would be awesome. Let me move this up. There we go. I think, yeah, there's some anatomy issues happening here. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Well, and it's a shame because really what I'm finding in the job market right now is that unfortunately, the major issue is that that's all companies want right now is that they are looking for writers to train their AI. And there's no actual like writing jobs. They're all like, yeah, they're all AI training. Yeah, because ultimately, unfortunately, it's jobs like that end up threatening my current job, you know. I kind of want less blush. Hold on. Because the more that those jobs exist, the less likely I am to get good work in the future, unfortunately. Because it'll encourage more people in the future to not want to learn to write, and instead they'll want to use an AI bot tool to write instead. Rather than want to improve their own craft. So like I myself as a writing coach then become kind of irrelevant. Because then people are like, well, why would I pay you to teach me how to write when I could just go to a bot and have it write for me? It's like, that is unfortunate that you don't want to actually like learn how to write. Oh yeah, no, like, and honestly, it's interesting, Milkshake, because I work at an art school, right, an art college, I've had to kind of contend with, I've like legit had students completely generate assignments in AI, and then I've had to give them zeros and be like, guys, please, like, you're going to art school, like, what, why would you do this? You know what I mean? Like, this is bananas. And it's just like super awkward. But like, what effectively the policies are that like my school has decided on, which I think are really good policies in the long run, is effectively that like AI is great as an extension of yourself, right? Like if you're using it in a way that builds on what you already can do, or you're using it as a research tool, you're fine. Like there's not really any like shame in doing that. And I know like there are so many people in the art community right now or in the writing community that are just like so staunchly anti-AI. Like if you use any AI, you instantly are the devil, which is like not a great stance in my opinion anyway. But for research, and like even the US Copyright Office has said this, where like for research and for organization and for those kinds of things, it's awesome. It's totally fine. But as soon as you start to use it to say like effectively like generate me a chapter, write for me a chapter of this book that I'm doing, what happens is that effectively, because we have not successfully like really gone through the copyright laws for how AI trained itself, you're just stealing from thousands, millions, actually millions of copyrighted works. And like there are like overall just like so many lawsuits going on right now for a variety of companies. OpenAI is being sued, Meta's being sued, Anthropic is being sued because they just stole all of this stuff, right? And so you have to recognize that if you're going to use AI to write something, you are stealing from millions of people. You know what I mean? And that just sucks. So that being said, though, there are plenty of tools out there, again, that can supplement your writing. So if you have trouble writing, you can throw your stuff into programs like Grammarly without generating anything, clean up your writing. That's a totally different story. That's an extension of yourself. You know what I mean? And so I think hopefully as more people realize that, like, those kinds of things are okay, we'll be in a little bit of a better spot. But, like, yeah, just straight up generating is not great. Trying to write in English, but oh yeah, English is my second language, so I have to use AI to fix grammar. Yeah, that's totally acceptable. Yeah, as somebody who is, yeah, a writing coach and a professional teacher, that's 100% fine. I have a lot of students who are English as a second language, and I see them use AI to do that all the time. I never ever flag them for that because it's like that's just lame. You know, it's like you're trying to learn clearly, you know. Oh, yeah, the thing keeps trying to change my writing style when I only want to fix the grammar. Yeah, it's very difficult. It's, yeah, and that's the number one problem. And I mean, I talk about this in my YouTube videos a lot. It's the number one problem that we have with AI and how it writes right now is that it creates what is called a homogenized author voice. And so what I mean by that is because it's trained off of millions of mediocre authors from the internet, it just kind of has this weird sound where it all sounds the same and it doesn't really sound like you. And so you can kind of tell when a book was written by AI because it all has this similar style or uses even very specific punctuation or patterns in the way that it writes. And it's kind of bad. It's actually just really, really bad. So it's pretty easy for me as a creative writer to spot when I do see it. And it just makes people's work, like, yes, less unique overall, which is kind of a bummer. Yeah, it takes a long time, yeah, before it interacts exactly how you want it. Yeah, exactly. And, like, as an editor, you know, I have to effectively, like, that's kind of part of my pipeline and figuring out, like, what I can use it successfully for and what is ineffective. You know, it's like, how do I decide that this thing no longer serves me? And that's the tricky bit. That's not going to help me. Sorry, I'm trying to generate a random face angle. And I'm trying to not get one from the front. Or directly from the side, because We already had done those. Okay. And then I totally rolled for the expression, and then I absolutely, oh, it was 50. There we go. This is good. Yeah. Oh, man. And then after a paragraph, it just reset everything. Oh, and the M dash too. Yes, the M dash is notorious for sure. Yeah, so you have to be very careful with it. It is definitely one of those things. And I think that's what I think is funny about AI as like a writing tool is that a lot of people, they assume that it's this quick fix for everything, right? It's like, oh, well, I can write an AI and then I'll use the AI to be a tool for me in that way, and then I won't ever have to write anymore. And it'll be super, super easy, and it'll be fast, and it'll be, all of these things that AI promises you. But in reality, in some cases, if you lean on it too much as a crutch, then all of a sudden it actually becomes more time consuming to do that way, which is not really very beneficial to your speed. So it in a way is not any faster. You think it might be, but in the end, it's like you're actually wasting more time just futzing around with the AI than actually like writing, Honestly, you'll get there. And hey, actually, Milkshake, no joke, one of my favorite art teachers of all time in undergrad, that was his technique. I actually have a demo on it on my computer that I show people all the time because it's a really good one. Well, let me open it up. I literally tell people this until the day that I die because this is such a good one. So he was a huge fan of tracing. And the reason is it because it improves your muscle memory. So say, for example, you have this statue of David from, it's like Michelangelo's David, right? You really like the anatomy on this. You can do a couple of exercises to try and get your brain to understand how these things are broken down geometrically. And so you can just trace over top of it. And do this over and over and over, whether you're studying musculature or whether you're studying the skeleton or whether you're studying the planes of the face or you're trying to get, like you're saying, like practicing like a zebra, things like that. Tracing is an insanely good way of building your muscle memory. So as long as you're not like, tracing somebody else's artwork and then claiming it as your own, which is not cool. Tracing for practice is an insanely powerful way to build your muscle memory in your hands. Really good technique. He was super cool. That guy was like a master sculptor. He was one of my favorite teachers. Yeah, and you'll get better. It does take time, but you'll get better. Yeah, because half of it is training your eye to effectively what Yenny, that was my teacher, what he used to say was draw what you see, not what you think you see. And that's the hard part, is training your brain to understand things fundamentally and how to not, I think, draw what is conjured in your mind or make assumptions about what you're drawing, and instead drawing what's in front of you, which is what's really difficult. That's the skill. But you'll get there. And using reference is never, ever, 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 ever a bad thing. Like, I legitimately, like, for people to expect artists to be able to be like, yeah, I just draw without reference, like, that's super unrealistic, and literally nobody does that. Like, I've had teachers who are professional artists at Disney, and they don't do that. They use reference. You know, like, I think about all the Disney films that are made that use rotoscoping or things like that. You know, it's like, and eventually you start to understand the formula where things get a little bit better. You can start to kind of know inherently where things get placed, but yeah, exactly. Exactly. You just got to keep doing it. Because then, yeah, then your brain starts to understand. It becomes like a formula, right? Because truly art is math. People are like, it's so it takes so much talent and intuition, and it's like, no, it's really just about understanding what's ugly and what's not, or what looks right and what doesn't. And once you can figure that out, you're golden. And a lot of, like, I mean, that's why Leonardo da Vinci was so into art, because he was a huge math dude. He wasn't even really like an artist, truly. He was an inventor, a machinist, an engineer, you know, truly. And once he figured out how to do that and started coming up with like math ratios for all of his stuff, that's like really where he started to get really good at what he did. And same with Michelangelo too. He had the human body down to like a literal, like, mathematical, anatomical science. So it's definitely like not as intuitive as people think. It's more about understanding the rules and then understanding how to break them or how to make them do what you need them to do. And also, too, being kind on yourself, like not expecting yourself to be very good when you start. Or even like, I mean, I opened this thing today and like I had a huge error on one of the poses, and I had to spend all the first bit of stream like tweaking what I did last stream because it wasn't that great, you know. And I'll probably come back to these and go, oh god, I don't like them. Like, I can already tell, like, I keep wanting to return to this because I don't like it that much, you know. And it's not the worst, but there's just something about it. And probably, that was probably it. Probably what'll happen is next time I'll come back and I'll look at it and go, oh, actually, I hate that. And this is why. Technically not steal. They were often donated to them, but there was actually a huge grave robbing trade, and that has been a thing and was a thing all the way up through the Victorian period, where unfortunately other people would steal corpses and then they would sell them as medical products. So you'd have people who were effectively cadaver hawkers, so to speak, who would then go to medical colleges or to wealthy patrons and say, hey, I have this dead body, do you want this? To do dissections on or to do anatomy studies on. And then people would say, yeah, I'm not going to question where you got this body from. And then nobody would ask any questions. Oh, yeah, no, the grave robbing sphere black market is wild. I like watched a special on that one time. Super crazy. Oops. So definitely, hello? Definitely wild. Yeah, so I don't know if Leonardo himself or any of the old masters themselves ever were actually involved in the process. I would not be surprised to know that Leonardo, like, obviously he was doing medical dissections and things like that, so it was definitely, it would not surprise me if he was doing that, because to some extent too, there were certain types of graves that were considered, like, effectively nobody cared if they went into them. So paupers' graves being the specific ones. So if you were buried in a mass grave and nobody really knew who you were, question mark, like you just kind of dealt with it, and nobody really said anything, which is a shame. But you know, but honestly, if you had enough money, you could really just get away with whatever you wanted. They let Michelangelo draw a bunch of really weird shit. Well, actually, I shouldn't say let. I should say they did not realize how much shit Michelangelo was getting away with on a lot of his patronage pieces, because Michelangelo actually, like, high-key hated the church. Did not like working for them. Was literally miserable. And then did a bunch of really weird shit. I like this one. This looks good. So far, that's my favorite one. See, look, I'm slowly tweaking. Every time I zoom out, I can see other things that I don't like about this, actually, and I'm realizing what's causing me some grief here is the fact that she doesn't have a top of her head. Slowly but surely, I will fix this. Yeah, Michelangelo definitely got away with a lot because he knew that he was more affordable than Leonardo. And also, too, Leonardo had a pretty solid contract with Catherine de' Medici, and so I don't think that the church could really get him out from underneath the Medicis. And so Michelangelo was like the next best choice. That, too, and also Michelangelo was in an open... I shouldn't say an open relationship with one, like a cardinal at the time, but they were definitely doing some shit, and that probably got him a lot of gigs because he knew the guy, and they were also doing this dirty shit. They were being dirty, nasty, doing that hankle-pankle. Non-sanctioned church, gay hankle-pankle. Okay, cool. I'm going to have to just call it here, I think, for this. Okay, well, you know what? That's a lot of progress. So we got 1, 2, 3 poses done and 3 expressions done, and we fixed this pose, which was not very good. So that, to me, is kind of a win. And then, in order to get through the rest of this model packet, all I have to do next time is 2 more expressions. So that's actually a lot of good progress. And then I'm probably going to move on to Dimitri, because otherwise, well, Dimitri will be easy because, well, he's either going to be super easy or super hard because perspective and cubes. So we'll see. Honestly, she needs a grappling hook. That would be so beneficial. No, this girl is great because she's super, super athletic and incredibly strong. And, like, half of the plot is people being like, hey, you can't do that. And then, like, legit in the 4th book, she's like, I'm just going to climb to this top of this big pine tree to go see where we can get out of this forest. And Brady's aunt is like, I swear to God, if you climb up there, I will literally throw a fit. And then the girl's like, bye. And then she just goes up the tree. She's like, see you later. Aunt Liz is like, you are literally going to give me a fucking heart attack. She's like, stop me. Fight me. Yeah. Kara don't care. She don't even need an arm. Arms are for the weak. So, cool. Well, awesome. Well, thanks for hanging out, Milkshake. That was dope. I don't know if you follow, but if you don't, you totally should. I'll be back tomorrow working on some writing. Wednesday, I do comics, and then on Thursdays, I, all in all, just like NSFW stuff sometimes. Oh, thanks for that follow, Milkshake. I appreciate it. Yeah, so sometimes on Thursdays, I'm over on Picardo, so that's doing typically like more adult comic stuff. So if you like that kind of stuff, hang out. If you want to hang out off server, you're more than welcome to pop into the Discord. I'll drop that in there. We hang out, we do art, we share art stuff. So if you at any point want to share anything that you're working on, you're totally free to do so. It's open and welcome to artists of any stage. You know, we have everybody from novices to professional artists in there. So it's a really welcoming environment. It's very cool. And also writing. We share which books we're reading, like all of that other stuff. So thanks so much for hanging out. And again, thanks again to Milkshake, to Shadow, Viking Wolf, also for the follow over here. And then to Lulu Carson, Lulu Martin, Eccentric Raven, and SKS for the follows, the subs over on YouTube. That's awesome. As well as the many, many subs I got on YouTube over the last day or couple days. That was crazy. So thank you. I appreciate you. And I will see you all hopefully tomorrow for some writing sprints. I hope everybody has a good rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.